What if I told you the human stomach can stretch like a balloon and hold more food than an entire Thanksgiving dinner? And what if I told you there are people who've eaten so much their stomachs literally ripped open? Today we're going to push the human body to its absolute limit. Imagine this table was placed in front of you right now. Plates stacked high with burgers, bowls of noodles, mountains of rice, towers of desserts, enough food to feed a family of 5. Now imagine someone telling you to eat all of it. Someone telling you to eat all of it. Single bite. Your first reaction might be, no way. That's impossible. But what if I told you your stomach is far more capable and far more terrifying than you think? You've probably heard people say human stomach is only the size of a fist. Small. Limited. Basic. But that's not the full story. Because deep inside your body is an organ that can stretch up to 40 times its empty size, hold liters upon liters of food, reshape itself like a living balloon, and in some extreme cases, become large enough to fill an entire abdomen. So today, we dive into a question most people wonder, especially after eating too much. How much food can the human stomach actually hold? And what happens if you push it too far? Stay with me, because the answer is way crazier than you expect. Cut. Close-up animation of stomach expanding. Most people believe the stomach is a small pouch. When empty, yes. It's only about 50 milliliters, roughly 2 tablespoons. That's tiny. But the stomach has something special. Folds called rugae. Think of them like the folds of an accordion. When food enters, these folds spread, stretch, flatten, and expand, turning what looked like a small pouch into a massive storage chamber. Just like a balloon is tiny before you inflate it, your stomach in its empty state is not showing its true potential. Its design is meant to expand dramatically. In fact, scientists often call it the expandable reservoir, meaning its job is not just digestion, but storage. But how much storage are we talking about? That's about the size of one big bottle of soda. You might feel full, but not in pain. Push it a little more, and most people can reach 2 to 3 liters. This is where discomfort begins. The point where you loosen your belt. The point where you loosen your belt. The point where you lie on your back and say, "ER, Bohat Kalia." But this still isn't the maximum. If forced, the human stomach can stretch to 4 liters or more. This is not comfortable. This is not normal. This is the point where the body starts screaming, "Stop!" Your heart literally shifts slightly upward because the stomach is expanding below it. But the real shock is this. Trained competitive eaters, the people who do eating competitions, can push the stomach to 10 liters, sometimes even more. That's the equivalent of 50 burgers, 4 large pizzas, 3 huge watermelons, or more than 22 pounds of food inside one human body. How is that even possible? Let's step into the world of competitive eaters, people who break the limits of the stomach. They train athletes. They do something called water training. They drink gallons of water, sometimes 4-6 liters in one go, to stretch their stomach walls slowly over months and years. Then they eat bulky foods like cabbage, watermelon, lettuce, low-calorie, high-volume foods to practice expanding. Over time, their rugae, the folds, become more flexible. Their stomach lining becomes more tolerant. Their nausea reflex becomes weaker, and their pain threshold increases. Eventually, their stomach stops pushing outward like a balloon, and instead drops downward like a bag, allowing it to hold extreme volumes. Some eaters can even eat after competitions because their stomach doesn't even signal fullness the way normal people feel. Their bodies adapt, not instantly, but through years of training. But with this expanded stomach capacity comes risk, major risk. Let's talk about what happens if the stomach is pushed too far. When the stomach fills beyond capacity, several things happen. First, the diaphragm gets forced upward. This makes breathing difficult. You feel like you're suffocating. Your body enters panic mode. Second, the pressure builds. The stomach walls stretch beyond normal tension. The nerves fire signals of pain. Hormones like CCK, leptin, and gastrin spike, trying to slow down digestion. Third, digestion slows drastically. Food can sit in the stomach for hours, sometimes even days, because the stomach becomes too full to contract and churn properly. If pushed even further, something terrifying can happen. Gastric rupture. The stomach tears, yes, literally tears open. Acid spills into the abdomen. This causes infection, shock, and often death within hours if untreated. Gastric rupture cases have been documented many times in medical literature. Some from overeating, some from binge eating disorders, some from extreme drinking or chugging contests. Doctors describe the stomach as looking like a balloon that got filled until it burst. This is the dark side of the stomach's flexibility. Now let's explore what happens during overeating, something we've all experienced. When you overeat, the stomach expands beyond its comfort zone. It pushes organs, it stretches nerves, it produces more acid. Digestion slows. You feel sleepy. That's because blood rushes to your stomach to help digestion, reducing flow to the brain. This is the real reason behind the food coma. Your diaphragm gets pressed. That's why breathing becomes shallow. This is why people lie down after overeating, to ease diaphragm pressure. But lying down causes acid reflux because acids flow upward. It's a cycle your body struggles through. But why do some people eat much more than others? Genetics plays a huge role. Some people naturally have larger stomachs. Some have more stretch receptors. Some have more ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Fast eaters also overeat because fullness signals take about 20 minutes to reach the brain. Some people have stronger cravings. Some have slower stomach emptying. Some have emotional eating behaviors. And competitive eaters suppress their gag reflex, allowing them to swallow faster. So capacity varies widely. A petite person may have a bigger stomach than a tall athlete, simply due to biological differences. Now here's something surprising. Your stomach does not shrink just because you skip meals. Your stomach is like a living, breathing muscle sac, always changing with your habits. Let's look at real-life extreme stomach cases that shock doctors. A patient was admitted with severe abdominal pain. Doctors found her stomach had expanded to 15 liters. It filled nearly her entire abdominal cavity like a giant balloon. She survived only because doctors drained it in time. A man named Mitchell Lotito had a stomach lining so thick he could eat metal, glass, rubber, even an entire airplane over 2 years. Doctors called him a Monsieur Mange Tout, Mr. Eat All. In another eating contest, a man ate 60 hot dogs in minutes. His stomach stretched so much it temporarily pressed against his lungs and heart. These are extreme examples, but they show the shocking stretch potential of the stomach. But how does the stomach expand without? The stomach has smooth muscle layers, very flexible rugae folds, stretchable connective tissues, durable mucus lining. Protected from acid, the inside of your stomach is one of the strongest, toughest organs in your body. It withstands acid strong enough to dissolve metal, yet it protects itself. But the stomach is not invincible. It has limits. So let's answer our main question clearly. How much can it hold? For the average untrained person, comfortable, 1 liter full. 1. 5 liters painful. 2-3 liters dangerous. 4-5 liters possible rupture zone. 5+ liters for competitive eaters, comfortable. 3-5 liters competitions. 6-10 liters extreme rare. 11-12+ liters for medical anomalies. 15 liters documented above that equals extremely dangerous. So yes, the human stomach is capable of ballooning far beyond normal size, but it's not meant to. Let's imagine exactly what happens inside you when you eat too much. As food enters, stomach walls stretch, rugae flatten, acid secretion increases, muscles churn, pyloric valve slows down, small intestine waits. As the stomach keeps filling, pressure builds, muscles expand, diaphragm moves upward, breathing shortens, heart rate increases, you feel sleepy. Eventually, your brain triggers nausea, your stomach spores reverse contractions. You may vomit. This is the body's escape mechanism. In extreme situations, the stomach becomes immobile. It can't contract because it's overly stretched. Food sits for hours. Acid builds. Pain intensifies. This is why binge eating is dangerous. Not because of calories, but because of the physical pressure. Let's talk about digestion time. A normal meal empties in 2-4 hours. A heavy meal takes 6 hours. A massive feast can take 12 hours or more. Sometimes food stays in the stomach overnight. This is why you wake up feeling heavy after eating late at night. Liquids pass faster. Solids take longer. Fatty foods digest slowest. Carbonated drinks add extra pressure by releasing gas. That's why soda after a heavy meal feels like a bomb inside your belly. Now let's look at animals for comparison. Humans, 1-4 liters normally cows, up to 200 liters camels, over 100 liters blue whales, eat a ton of food daily snakes, swallow prey larger than their heads in nature. Humans are somewhere in the middle. But unique because our stomach expands drastically compared to our body size. This ability helped early humans survive famine and feasting cycles. Let's talk about culture and eating habits worldwide. In Japan, people eat slowly and stop at 80% fullness. Hara hachibu. In Italy, meals are small but frequent. In America, portion sizes are huge and eating is fast. In South Asia and Middle East, feasts are large, meals are rich, eating is communal. These cultural habits shape stomach size over time. Someone who regularly eats large meals will naturally develop a more flexible stomach. Someone who eats small meals will maintain a smaller capacity. The stomach adapts to lifestyle. It's not fixed, it's dynamic. Let's talk about gastric surgeries, especially weight loss surgeries. Procedures like sleeve gastrectomy reduce stomach size from 1.5 liters to just 100-150 milliliters. After the surgery, overeating is impossible. Even water must be sipped slowly. If overeating continues over years, the stomach can stretch again, but rarely to original size. This shows how adaptable the stomach truly is. Now, consider intermittent fasting. People think fasting shrinks the stomach, but that's a myth. Fasting affects hormones, not stomach size. Your hunger reduces, your digestion stabilizes. Your cravings change, your metabolism resets. But stomach size only changes through long-term eating patterns. Now let's return to the big question. After everything we've learned, how much food can the human stomach really hold? The final, clear, scientific answer: the stomach can hold far more than you think, but far less than you hope. It can expand massively, but it has a limit. A limit that, if crossed, can break it. Literally. Our stomach is a miracle of evolution. A flexible, elastic, muscular organ capable of handling enormous pressure and adapting to extreme conditions. But it also requires care. It needs respect. It needs moderation.